so much.
What is an NPC?
You don't know this meme?
Is that a Scientology thing?
No, non-player character.
Non-player character?
What, you don't know about this? Do I get to tell you the NPC meme?
Yes.
This is the most important meme of our lifetime.
Yeah. Okay.
When we were younger, we played games like Final Fantasy and Ultima, right? Mm-hmm. And in those games, you go to like the armor store or the weapon store, and you buy your sword or you buy your armor.
Right.
There's a guy running that store within the game.
Yes.
He does not exist outside of that store.
Right.
That character, all he does is buy armor and sell armor. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a kid. You go there at midnight, he's there. You go there at 8 a.m., he's there.
Right.
He's the player characters you're playing. He's the non-player character. And the point this meme makes is the vast majority of humans are non-player characters. They have no mind outside their programming.
Hi. So while doing some brainstorming and asking ChatGPT if it had any video ideas for me, it suggested the NPC trend, which me living under a rock had no idea what that was. So I hopped on TikTok and soon enough I found this. My first thought was, wow, that's pretty strange and like cool. I wonder how much they have to practice to be able to do those things. And as I dove a little bit deeper into the whole thing, I realized, is it really as good as it seems?
I think it's time for us to have another talk. We need to discuss this NPC trend. We don't need to just talk about it, we need to do something about it. I'm going to help you to understand just how dangerous this trend is. If you've been under a rock, NPC stands for non-playable character. Of course, it originates in video games, but it simply means a character that is not controlled by the player. Of course, the character is controlled by the game master. In short, it is pre-programmed. Let's start here. Satan deals with rejection. I'm talking about big time. That's why whenever you feel rejected, you need to cast that spirit down. In short, anytime you feel the emotions of a demon, cast that joker down. And if it has managed to invade your soul, get it cast out. Do not support anything that deals with NPC or human control. And let's create positive trends. And if you don't remember anything, remember this. It is illegal to control the will of another human being. Satan knows this. It's called witchcraft. And even though people are out here allowing people to control them just to get a bag, don't put anything in that bag. In other words, don't feed something that you don't want to grow. Oh, and you know I was going to say it. What is the spirit behind this NPC trend? Starts with a J. The spirit of Jezebel is behind witchcraft and control. It's time for the God-fearing, God-loving innovators to stand up and start creating some godly trends.
Thank you for the flowers.
Yes.
Smells so good. Thank you for the corn. Smells so good. Gang, 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 gang.
No.
Wow, thank you for the...
Take that away.
Some comments on that video said, if my kid did that, I'd feel like I failed as a parent. And as a mother, yes, I totally agree. Like, it's just weird, it's creepy, in my opinion. The way she's trying to save you from embarrassment by taking the phone away. Yeah, like, it is embarrassing. You know, it's so strange how we as a society, as a people, have come to this level of weird. The look on his face. I'm just sitting here thinking, what if like somebody time traveled from maybe just 100 years ago to this and saw this? Like, what would they think? You know? And so I found an article that talks a little bit about this as well. People are pretending to be NPCs on TikTok, and it's not just weird, it's also lucrative. Non-playable characters on NPCs are taking TikTok by storm. It originates in video games. They are the background characters. So my first impression with this trend and this kind of acting, if you will, out in public was, wow, that's weird, but it's also like a little bit cool, you know? Growing up, I did play some video games where like the characters were basically acting like this, and so it's kind of like, okay, I see it can be fun, you know, if you're into that stuff. But then as I started to research and I found out that like these are they're not meant to be the main character, or like they're meant to be the non-playable characters. The characters that just do like repetitious movements and they don't really do anything, you know? They're just doing what they're controlled to do, programmed to do. That's when I start to think more deeply about it, that whoa, maybe it isn't so good after all. And if you think about it, like if you see one of a person do this in public, at least for me as a Christian especially, I would think, whoa, is person demon possessed or something? Because it's pretty weird, you guys. And though I do not believe everything's a demon, everything's demonic, I think that this, as almost everything else, absolutely could take a turn and become something like that. If you're pretending to play a role of a character that is programmed and cannot be controlled, it sounds kinda like a demon. This is just my personal thoughts about this, but like, who's to say if you're really into this deep, and if this even somehow maybe becomes like an idol for you, the person you are, like, this is who I am, this is what I do. Couldn't it also like cross that line maybe? To become something where a demon could actually use this to possess you, to make you brainwashed, to control you in ways. And since this is so weird, you know, of course it's gonna gain attraction and attention, and people will like gain fame from it. And my question is, what kind of fame is it? Is it the kind of fame and fortune that we want? Or is it from worldly things? Is it from Satan, basically? Not to be that radical person, but like, if we come back to this thinking, you know, biblically and as a Christian, like, where does it stem from? Does it stem from something good? Does it stem from the Word of God, you know? Does it stem from talents that God has given you? Or is there something else? Some people are calling the NPC trend a fetish. More often than not, it is beautiful women performing actions and sounds on command for an audience. Yeah, so once again, I think there's always a line you need to draw with this. On the surface, it can be fun, but if you don't draw that line somewhere, it could become something very weird and even demonic. What are your thoughts on this? Did you know about this, or is this the first time you heard about it or saw it, you know? Let me know in the comments down below. To finish off this video, I just want to say that how far is too far? What are people willing to do in order to gain some attention, to gain some fame on social media? It's becoming very dangerous, because I truly believe that people who maybe normally wouldn't do like crazy things start doing them in desperation to get the attention and the likes and even the money that they want. And so if we read in the Bible from Matthew 6 and verse 24, it says, "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and be enslaved with money." I think in all that we do, if we're believers especially, you know, we have to ask ourselves, is this glorifying God? If I'm going out on the streets and like pretending that I am this character that is controlled and programmed, am I glorifying God with this, or am I showing something else, you know? And so we're called to go out on the streets and proclaim the gospel, the good news to people. And I think that's probably what we should be doing instead. If we see these people around, we should absolutely try to engage with them, to talk with them and tell them about Jesus, you know. And so that was my little take on the NPC IRL trend. And I hope to see you next week in the new video. Bye!
Stop, let me pray for you. Stop, let me pray for you. John 3:16, John 3:16, stop, let me pray for you. John 3:16.